Yeah, cool. So we're just going to make one of these. So what you're going to learn today is this. You're going to put, with this wing this, that's just aerial. We're going to use horizontal scale for that. Just make this one up. Draw the little swoosh. That's just a picture in a box. This is all in one box. There's no double returns. It's all using, like we might put our cursor into the space before and a little bit. This has got a drop shadow on it. This circle bleeds off the page. This has got a box, a transparent box with round corners just on two corners. This has got a circle that we're going to cut the edge of it off, sort of thing. It's all pretty standard. I know I bang on about putting everything into one box, but this stuff's a bit different. This is a little bit tricky. So the new experiences will be in its own box. Little black box with circles just on one edge. A white transparent box and also text wrap as well. Okay, that's it. That's what we're going to do today. With these logos, if you don't find them, don't worry about it. They're not supplied. Don't. That's the least of your worries. If you get to close to the end and you don't have those logos, that's fine. If you finish really early, I'll say go and get the logos. But it's not that crucial that they're in there. All right, everyone's here. I'll just get into it. Oh, there's a message. Just be careful with messages because I never read them. I never get them. No, all good. Right, so this one, everything's there. So what it is, this is the show and tell bit from Gov. I sound a bit like a Russian transvestite at the moment because my voice is just gone. This is a deal. All it is just A4, and it's a really good way to get a really cool little brochure without doing anything too fancy. It just folds inside itself. That's all it does. So what happens is it's just an A4 bit of paper, and there's just one little trick to it, and it's not hard to do. But you've got to remember when this folds, if you were to open that evenly, it would hit against it, it would butt against it, it wouldn't go in there properly. So all it is this little one on the end. So 210 is 297 wide. So you just got to divide it into three, but you just do 100, 100, and 97 for that one. So because that one's a little bit smaller, it just fits inside and it looks wonderful. That's all it is. But the trick is, like my screen over here, when you're doing this sort of shenanigans, you've got to have, this is the 100 here on this side, so that's your normal brochure, but when that goes up on your screen, you've got the big sides on here, so that's 100, 100, and the fold here is 97. But because you're working on like 2D kind of thing, when it spins around, you just got to make sure that the 97's on this side. It's really easy to do, but it's really important that you know how to do it, and that's all it is, and it's called DL. So here's one I prepared earlier. So that's got all my size. You can't read it. That's got all the sizes on it, and it's good. It's a really simple way to work. So I'll get straight into it. So this one, I'll remember. You know how I do stuff. I'll just smash through all this and do the whole thing, and then we'll go back and do it in bits and pieces. But so just straight up, this guy is just you want 6 pages. Okay, it's 100 wide. So that's because there's 6 panels and they're all except for 2 of them that are 97. I just do the one that's got the most that you don't have to change as many. 100 by 210 high. It's got to be facing pages because they're all going to sit next to each other. Columns, all this kind of stuff depends on what your design is. So if I hit preview, that's it there. Okay, it's got my 3mm bleed around the outside. If I know it's going to have columns, I can do this thing and have columns, but it's just not going to, so it's really good. So you can have your margin around the outside. You know, this guide, this is really helpful, but this one we don't need it. Just straight up, but that pink bleed's really important. That's bleed over here. So it's just 6 pages, 100 by 210, and create them. So we did this last week with the Kid Cuddy thing. It's about how you move pages around. The reason you don't just stick this on an A4 page, which is what it is you want when you PDF it, you want to see where the fold marks are, where you fold the job. So this is the same. Remember, I'm really into this properties palette now. It's really important. So when you set your screen up, I'm just doing Essentials Classic. I'm opening the properties window. That sits here. So pretty much everything's in there, except I just like to have pages and layers and links. They're separate. And also your tool palette over here is here. So that's just, right, so just pages. So there's all my pages. And with the little hamburger menu here thing, remember, allow document pages to shuffle. So if you uncheck that, you can move these guys up. So just put them next to each other. So that's your file. So that's you're done, right? So you've got this. Too easy. So this is the only thing you've got to do. It's really easy. You just have to. So this one, there's a page tool here. So that cover is 100. That middle is 100. This fold one is going to be 97. That's it. So that's opposite the other way around. So this guy's 100. There is a page tool in the properties palette, but don't use it. It seems to change every page. But just, yeah, that's all. We worked that out the other day. So that one's 100, that one's 100, and this guy's 97. That's all it is. There's no trick to it, but if you get it wrong, you'll really get it wrong because it'll fold in the wrong spot. That's all you have to do. Simple as that. So the next one, we'll do it again when you guys do it, but that's set up. The other thing is you'll do a lot of DL brochures over the years. You just use the same file. You don't have to go through all this every time you do something. All right, just place your stuff in. Everything's there. Place, you know the drill with all this. Same for my classes every week. You know what I mean? So I've got, it's in here somewhere, that one. Everything's on the Moodle. You'll just download it all. So this is just this guy. Same deal. Make it transparent. Off we go. So I won't do the whole thing because you know how to do half of this stuff anyway. Layers, you know that's your template layer. So your next one. You're going to have a wood layer for the background, and then you're going to have a another one just for your content. It's up to you how many layers you do. It's really, that's just a thing. Right, stock standard. Everything's going to bleed and stuff like that. So remember pictures. I go quick enough as it is. So this stuff you know how to do. That's just a circle straight up. Remember Command D or File Place. You've got all your stuff. Oh, not that one. Everything just goes in the pictures. I like to get used to when you put a picture in, the first thing you do is come over to the properties palette and you go to the fitting, the frame fitting, and say fit content proportionately. And remember, click in the middle of the picture, and that just kind of shows you what you're working with, and then you can go away with this thing. A few questions. That stroke on that, don't do a white circle behind it. It's literally just a stroke. So over in the, it's like I've got shares in the properties palette. I'm really into it. So that's just my white stroke. Next thing I'm going to do is, from a design point of view, you want to try and do things quicker. So I'm going to use that circle. I'm going to option that circle up to there. Remember, scaling in InDesign is a bit of a dog. So you've got to hit Command before you do anything. Command and Shift will scale it in proportion, and Option will scale it down to its own center. So if you get that one's about right. There's one going to be there. So option that down. It's all about making your life easier. So that one looks pretty good there as well. So option, that's just copy and paste, you know what I mean? It's just much easier. So this one, so there's your little one. That's going to be there. So I've got all my pictures. I've lost that one there. Stupid me didn't copy it. So option him across. Don't know what happened there. So there's that one back again. All good. So that's how I do it. I just do I get all the boxes into one spot. So this one, really simple. You guys know this. Go to your links. You can see I've got all these images in here. Relink that one. I want this one. I've got two of these folders. It gets a bit confusing. It's silly me. I'll do that one with 3 1. This one, so I want that one. It's probably the same picture. No, it's not. So this one, go to the links, relink that one, same spot. That one, I've really better pictures in this. There you go. Here's used. So that one. So all you're doing is just using your links. That one, relink that one. It means your circles are done. It saves so much time. It's good stuff. All right. So there's my pictures. They just go in a bit weird. Just see how they go in there. Click in the middle and hold it down, and you can see that they're all going in the right size. They just depend. Sometimes they go in all differently. This picture's got cut off the side. So this guy down here, when I hit W, or when you print this job, this one, I'll just do it the right size. That's going to bleed off the side of the page. Okay. Don't worry what it looks like on the edge of the page. You're going to have junk everywhere. But once you crop it, when you make the PDF, it looks wonderful. It all just cuts off. But this guy over here isn't. This one, you can see it stops here. So I want to say this. It's just stuff we've done. The way I do this, I would just draw a box over the top of that. So that box there, you can colour it if you want. Doesn't really matter. So that box, hold shift down. That box, hold shift down. That box. Properties, we've got, did I not get it? That one. Over here you'll have Pathfinder. Where did it go? What am I doing? Hold on a sec. Oh, something's going on. I'll come back to that one. It's a bit weird. Yeah, I'll come back to that one. I'll cut that out in a minute. There's something weird's going on there. Right, that's that one. This text is just straightforward. I've got the text. Remember, I've saved the text document. So do your text box over here and file place. So you can place text into the box the same way you can place a picture in a box, but it just has to be the text box. So we'll place him in there. Just go place. I know that the text is already cut, so you kind of do it all. Just get used to when you put text in a box. I'll make it all Helvetica, say medium. That's stop now. Yep, it's about that big. Remember to turn hyphenation off. All these things. There's a lot of hyphenation going on. So this text, this eat better, goes down to highlight of the festival. So I'm going to go from there to highlight of the festival. So go down to that and Command X is going to cut it out of there. And then this one, oops, it's just text. All you're doing is just text, text, text. I do the same thing every week. So just draw your box about there. Put our text in, and it's just matching this text now. So I'm going to select all that. I'll say it all day. Select all your text. This text runs over to the right. It runs down the side. Probably a bit bigger than that. And you can see what I'm doing there. There's lots of text in there. But I'm just getting this as close as I can. You can see that line there. So I'm just going to match this. So click in, double click. Remember, we've got space after stuff, but this is space between the lines. And you can see what I'm trying to match. We'll do the headings later on. So select all. So that's 14 point, and if I just go maybe 17, that looks pretty good. Doesn't have to be exactly right, but that text has got about the same leading. This eat better, remember, none of this selecting like that just to the R. It doesn't work because there's a return on the end of the line. So when you select the whole line, click 3 times and you'll get everything. So that's going to be bigger. I'm just kind of manually just guessing that one. Oh, there's a plus after it that isn't in the job, which we've worked that out yesterday. That looks pretty close, but that one's bold. This is all just fonts. It's all just, that's all I'm doing. It's just kind of repetition of the same thing. So that's eat better. So we'll sit him up there. So this dress better, I'm going to click in that one, use the eyedropper, eyedrop that one, right? So there's a bit of mucking around now. We're going to play, and then we've got live better, eyedrop that one. So we'll just do the spacing now because we're going to do run around up here and it's going to change where things sit. So just get it as close as you can. So this is where people get a little bit stuck. We've got show hidden characters. Well, I'm going to put my cursor on that line and use the paragraph formatting, use before and after. So before is going to push it down a fair way and after just a little bit. So it's just a little bit of type and that looks good. Go to this guy. So keep using the eyedropper. When you get into it next year, you'll be using style sheets instead of the eyedropper, but just for now, that's pretty close to right, okay? It's got a drop shadow on it. People were getting confused with this one, so if I click on the text tool, over in my properties palette, there's effects and there's drop shadow, okay? So if I just do that, and it's probably a bit smaller than that, it's about that big, drop shadow, just go okay. All that text is white, so double click, fill it all white, all good. People were getting confused. They were doing that and the drop shadow thing wasn't here. These are just things that just trip you up a bit. That it's just, I don't know. To get the drop shadow, you've got to select it as an object, not as text. All right, so that's getting closer to right. That's that one. Text wrap is really easy. This has got to be at the front. So bring the picture to the front, arrange, bring it to front. Really simple. Over here in properties, you've got text wrap. You can see here, guys, that there, that first one is text wrap to the box. See that text is running hard down the side? That's to the box, and the second one is to the object inside the box. And this little guy here, you can see that little green line coming out, so you can decide how far it pushes out from the text. That's text wrap. There's nothing to it. It's really simple. But next one, this text here, I've got the festival, da-da-da-da. So where are we? Make the search new experiences. So I want from here down to workshop. Remember, don't get the return at the end of the line. If you just try not to have a return enter at the end of the line. This, as I said, I bang on all the time about putting stuff into one box, but in this stuff, just don't. You know what I mean? So that's going to go in there. That text is pretty close to the right size. It might be a little bit smaller. This text sits like that. So this text wrap now. So I've got this one. And this one, I've got to bring those to the front. So this guy, really simple, just text wrap over here. That's it, just push it out a bit. Same again. I could have done that. I could have held shift down and done those both together. That's kind of looking like it should already. Yep, see, it pushes it out. That looks pretty good. Too easy. The next thing you're going to do is boxes on. This is about it. There's not much in this job, but it just takes a little while to do. Boxes with round corners. So I want to just draw a square box. Okay, it's just a white box, this guy. So this one. So fill it white. What you're going to do, if you go to the selection tool and click on that box, there's a little yellow circle there. If you click on that little yellow circle, you grab these corners and it will round the corners. So I'll just make that the colour so you can see it. So if you grab those corners, it'll round the corners. All good. But if you grab shift, it will round one. So that's one. That's the other one. So you can do them one at a time. That's it. Okay. So I'm just going to guess this one. You can do it properly. So that one's white, and it's transparent. All property palette stuff over here. Opacity is 50 or whatever. 50 would be close. Send that guy to the back. Right click, arrange, send to back. Come on. Yep, that's starting to look like it. The black one's just the same. I would just draw a black box. So I'm going to go from that box up. Just snap it in so it snaps to the other box. It's just black. Exactly the same principle. I don't try and put that new experiences word in there. It would just get ugly. It's too small a box. So just do it separately. Click on the box. Click on the little yellow guy. Hold shift down and just 1, 2. And so that new experience word, which is over here somewhere. So this one, Command X, that's just got to be in its own box. We know it's white. I think it's bold. I'm just guessing. And also in your character thing, you've got this little plus. This you can do it capitals from there. Make the box a bit smaller. So that one is going to go there and be wonderful. And if you guys are clever and you really are, as I said, if you're on an hourly rate, do everything one at a time. If not, this one, hold shift down, and that black one, so option shift that up to there. That's the second one, and just go into there. Oops. And just say meet the chefs. You know what I mean? So that's it. You've got another text box and a white box. So this is the last lot of text. So this text, I know that this stuff is the same size as that. That seems to fit well. I think there's an extra line of type in there because I typed this a while ago and I think I've typed it wrong, but just delete the last line if it doesn't fit. So that one is going to go in here. So paste it in there. Yeah, so just put a full stop after that and just forward delete. I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? That's all good. That's it. You got meet the chefs is done. So that's kind of it, right? So then, then you've got the wood one. So you've got this guy. So you've just remember the wood layer will go between everything. So I'm going to unlock that one on this one. So Command D, file place. This little fella, this is the bleed one. This is important that this goes right off the page. Yep, that starts to look pretty good. Pretty good. The next, so look at that. That text wraps a little bit out. So this guy, I might just go over here and just push that out a bit more. Well, I hate text wrap. It's a dog of a thing to work with, but you just because everything moves every time you move something. But so you've got some. This has to come to the front. There's a bit of mucking around with all this stuff. You've got another box to go there. But that's it. All the rest of this you can just do. It's just text. It's all good. Right, PDFing it. We've done this hundreds of times. We're going to do it again. Just make him out a bit. We do this every week. All finished. All good. Just say, Gav, share your screen. When you share your screen, I'm going to ask you to turn the guides on, show hidden characters, and make sure you've kind of got all the spacing and bits and pieces right. Then all we're going to do is PDF it. We've done this one, so you can do this, go export. Remember, Illustrator save as and InDesign's export. Your name and your class. I'll be 1D. I'll be Harry. So that one goes into the right spot. So this one, there's only a couple of things you've got to do. You want all your pages. You want spreads because they're going to go next to each other. View PDF after exporting. That's just a gimme. I say it all the time. Never send a PDF to a client or anyone or me without opening it yourself. Because all weird stuff happens. Right, that's it. They're the only ones on there. And marks and bleed, I do crop marks, which is where it gets cut out. Page information is really important because the name of the file and the date you create it will be on it. And use document bleed settings, which is that one. Just go export. If there's overset text on page 2, I'd have to go back and check that where it is, but that one will just let go for a minute. Let that one go. That'll just go through. This will look weird because the background layer's on. So I did something wrong. That doesn't bleed, so I'll have to have a look at that. So I'll go back. See, the bleed isn't right up here. Everything else looks all right, so I'll come back to that one and see what I've done. I didn't bleed off the edge. That's me, silly. So this guy, the wood layer wasn't on. The wrong one was on. That's it. So that's it. So I'm just going to PDF it. Same one again. Same. This stuff should all be the same. Export him. Okay. And that will go through. That was using the other file. Oh, no. Yeah, should work. Anyway, that's bad because I'm filming that, but it will work. I'll just do it again. Last one. We'll see what I'm doing wrong. No, it should work. If this doesn't work, I'll give up and we'll do it again later on. There you go. That's it. There's your thing, cuts off the edge there, cuts off the edge there. That's that. I'll just show you how to cut that mask, that picture mask out, because I don't think it worked because it had a picture in it. All we were going to do is we've got a circle. I'll just fill it a color. Maybe you have to do this first. And we've got a box over the top of it. So just put your box to where it's going to go, or just do that box a different color. And really simple, so just get that right. So you need 2 things selected to do this. You've done this with Illustrator. Select both of those shapes and come over to Pathfinder here and just say minus front. It'll just knock the front out. That's all it is. I don't know why I didn't do that. That's funny. I'll just try it again just for the last one. But all it is, you just draw your box over the top of where it goes. It may not do it because there's a picture in it, but it was doing it the other day. So that one. There's one. There's the picture. Oh, there you go. Minus front. It does work. That's it. Okay. So that's it. So everything's on the Moodle. I'll turn the Moodle on now. That's a lot of stuff in one go, but there's not really that many things that you don't know how to do there. Okay. I'll just stop my recording, but you'll see I'll turn the Moodle on now. I sneakily just don't do that, so you can't. And I'll go through. Where are we? Down here. Or any. This is in. Everything's there. There's videos. There's this. There's that. There's copies there, but you won't need it. Everything's in there now. Okay. All right. Go nuts.